This video is sponsored by War Thunder.
Alright, so we got a special chapter here today because we're further exploring the dark side of the Hero Association, something that's going to be one of the main storylines going forward into this next long arc that's going to be spanning the next couple years. And this chapter focuses on the hero gambling aspect of it. So essentially, McCoy, one of the executives of the Hero Association and one of the main antagonists of this arc, who we've seen recurringly in these last couple chapters, along with some of the highest investors of the Hero Association, like these wealthy elites, I guess you could call them, have come together and made this, as it says, hero gambling scheme, where they straight up bet on heroes going against monsters. But of course, it's a rigged game, because it says that occasionally the matches are carefully rigged to allow only the major sponsors to win. And they do this by just straight up lying. So in this chapter, we see, for example, one hero taking on one monster, and they'll just basically say that the monster and the hero are stronger or weaker than they actually are. So in this case, we see the monster, Shiver being advertised as a demon level, but in actuality, it's a wolf level. Or at least to the assumption of McCoy and the Hero Association guys that were wrangling this monster illegally and secretly. Although there's like a double twist here because it actually is demon level, but we'll get into that. And as for the hero, it's B class rank 4 Mad Devil Yankee, but he's being advertised as C class rank 333 Papillion 800. This guy's also interesting because of his true ranking, B class rank 4. We haven't seen this ranking before. Outside of the S class, a lot of the rankings are really spotty. Like, for example, in the B class, we've seen ranks 1 through 3, which is occupied by the main portion of the Fubuki group. And then after that, it was like rank 6 Wildhorn. And then after that, it was rank 20 Glasses, our boy of boys, who we haven't seen in many years still, but hopefully he'll come back in this arc, fingers crossed. So yeah, it's kind of interesting to see what rank 4 was, and it's this guy, Mad Devil Yankee. But they're doing this so that they can create a quote-unquote long shot win. Artificially inflate the betting odds. Because if this was like real life betting on a fight, it would be the equivalent of having like a journeyman or a newcomer taking on one of the, I guess, top ranked global fighters in the world, but then just lying about it. So you'd have more incentive to bet on the underdog, I guess, even though the odds would be severely stacked against them, such as it is in this chapter. But we also find out that McCoy was able to trap Yankee into being a part of this game because his mother is sick and needs treatment and is essentially reliant on the Hero Association's health insurance.
But first, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, War Thunder, which is like the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever. Because if you're looking for like a fast action-packed match, or even like a more realistic and tactical experience, well, War Thunder can give you both because it has intense PvP battles at various levels for all playstyles. You can also play as more than 2,000 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships in dynamic combined arm PvP battles. That's one of the main things that I absolutely love about this game. The interactions between air, ground, and naval vehicles. Also, every vehicle is incredibly detailed, as well as having an in-depth customization system for the vehicles, where you can apply hundreds of camouflages, or even place historical markings anywhere on your machines, as well as 3D decorators. My personal favorite has got to be the Type 90 MBT Takumi Fujiwara, which is based off of the Trueno from Initial D. I can't get over how incredibly aesthetic this thing is, but that's also large in part due to the incredible graphics and detail in 4K. Like, they're not kidding, the graphics in this game are so good, guys. And don't worry about any kind of pilot hardware or anything like that. You can fly any craft using nothing more than a mouse and a keyboard, thanks to the game's intuitive mouse aim mode. So guys, play War Thunder now for free on PC, PlayStation 5, or Xbox Series X and S, or even on the previous console generations, by clicking the link in my description. And also, if you're registering on PC, there's a large free bonus pack for using my link in the description, which includes multiple premium vehicles, a premium account, boosters, and much more.
And also, for us anime fans, they've added 3D Dakimakuras to War Thunder, and these can be placed anywhere on your tanks and can only be obtained via the link in my description.
Thanks, guys.
I mean, that's not what is stated here, but that's essentially the gist of it. I mean, you'll understand if you're American watching this. McCoy also implies that if he doesn't go along with this, that his mother won't get the treatment and essentially will die. And to be honest, I think this is just an idle threat from McCoy. He's just saying this to get what he wants, but I don't think that he would have actually went through with it if Yankee didn't comply with him. Again, just my opinion, but I've been talking about this a lot with McCoy, and I think that he is definitely not a good guy, but not necessarily a truly despicable one. Like, he's left of evil, if you will. Somewhat of a gray character. And I think that's definitely going to be explored more later on in this chapter, but we'll get into that. So considering that this fight is rigged, there's also an acting element of it, where Yankee is going to act like he's having a competitive fight against this monster. Because in theory, a B-rank hero should be able to take down a wolf-level monster, because that's what they think is actually happening here, at least behind the scenes. The investors think that it's a C-class, low-ranked C-class going against a wolf level, which is somewhat of an even battle, but so Yankee has to act accordingly. And also McCoy is fully under the assumption that this is going to play out legitimately from his perspective. But that's not the case, as we see, because the Shiverwawa monster is extremely powerful. Like, he is legitimately demon level, because he just easily destroys Yankee with just one punch right in the beginning. And we find this out from the exposition that we get, because it says that this monster was monsterized due to turning distortedly wild from extreme miniaturization. It was a lapdog, so going outside causes it to rampage in fear and worry. We also get this flashback to the Hero Association, quote unquote, running high intensity tests on it. So I guess that, in combination with it being outside here and feeling threatened, has possibly caused it to undergo this rapid growth in strength and becoming a legitimate demon level. And yeah, there's no chance that a B-class hero, even rank 4, has any chance to take on a demon level, especially by themselves. Like, the official comparison was that you need at least one S-class hero to take on a demon level. Or you would need like a whole group of A-class heroes, and even then the odds are stacked against them. Like, that's how far the gap between S-class, demon levels, and everyone else is at this point. Like, I don't even know if all of the C-class heroes teaming up together would be able to take down a demon level. I mean, it would be extremely high diff if they could. So while Yankee is getting beaten down, we find out that he was inspired to become a hero by Moomin Rider, because when Moomin Rider was taking on Deep Sea King, he was actually in that crowd, in that shelter. This is important because later on in this arc, we're going to see that other heroes have actually been secretly inspired by Moomin Rider as well, but that's very far from now, but just keep that in mind. And just like Moon Rider versus Deep Sea King, this fight goes down the same way, with Yankee being extremely outmatched, getting beaten down within an inch of his life, but still getting up and not backing down and, you know, trying to do right by his mother. But a funny little aspect of this is that McCoy thinks that this is like a performance from Yankee, because McCoy legitimately thinks that the Shiverwawa monster is a wolf. Like, he wasn't sending Yankee here to die or get destroyed secretly by this demon level, which is going back to what I was saying about McCoy being a gray area character, you know, left of evil. He's not trying to legitimately kill him here. He's just mistaken like the rest of them. They didn't know that the monster was suddenly going to become demon level. I mean, they never truly know that he is. But before the monster's able to kill Yankee, Saitama suddenly shows up and one-shots it, similar to how he showed up to save Moomin Rider from Deep Sea King. Yankee actually recognizes Saitama from that moment as well, but he passes out. And of course, naturally, Saitama destroying this monster ruins the betting for the investors and ruins McCoy's reputation with them, of course. And afterwards, McCoy shows up and scolds Saitama for defeating the monster, which they're confused about because, you know, they're none the wiser of what's going on here with the betting. And also, McCoy definitely isn't aware that Saitama is powerful because of this, because, you know, it goes back to him legitimately thinking that the Shiverwawa was a wolf level, and he also says that it was weakened by Yankee, so yeah. Part of the course with characters being oblivious to Saitama's true strength, but of course it's way too soon for characters of this level to know the truth about him anyway. guy. Then Child Emperor suddenly shows up as well and addresses McCoy's rigged game, essentially exposing him in front of Saitama and Genos here. But McCoy is able to leave before he gets further questioned. Then Child Emperor shows Saitama and Genos how the rigged game works and the website that it's tied to. And Saitama checks out his odds, and it turns out that he's like a ×20 underdog, which is like really insulting. And he's, of course, upset by this. Like, even Butterfly DX, who is one of his neighbors, who is like an A-class rank 16, is ×2.1. So yeah. Another interesting thing here is that besides being a ×20 underdog, we see that Saitama's rank is A-class 29, which moved him up 10 places from his original 39. Now, Vib also points out at the end of this chapter that it is odd that just suddenly happens. So it could be a typo from the official, or it's just a quiet promotion that happened, possibly because, I don't know, maybe McCoy made it happen so that it would incentivize Saitama to not talk about the secret hero gambling stuff, maybe. But later on, Saitama and Genos are talking about the hero gambling, and Saitama says, you know, if we wanted to stop this stupid hero gambling BS, I was thinking the best way to do it might be, you know, make the house lose a ton of money, similar to how they just did by taking down the monster when he wasn't supposed to. So now that they have the website, they're tracking when the odds are published, and they're going out to the next game that's happening, and we see that it's two heroes about to take on this huge monster, and Saitama's about to destroy it, you know, thwarting the odds again. But then suddenly this guy in a Formula 1 car like snatches some lady's purse, and now it puts Saitama in a conundrum, and he's like, do I go after the guy who took the purse, or do I stop the monster? And he winds up choosing to go after the Formula 1 purse snatcher guy, and he gives it back to the lady. And we also find out that Tatsumaki had conveniently defeated the monster, so that, I guess, ruined the odds for the hero gambling anyway. Saitama then gets upset because he didn't get in on the money for the gambling, I suppose. But then the lady is just going to give him a reward from the purse anyway, because it was full of keepsakes from her parents, and she gives him like a diamond ring, and he's enticed by it at first, but then it says that after a great deal of hesitation, he said he wasn't looking for money and returned it. And that's where the chapter ends. So yeah, really interesting one. I enjoyed it. It is a detour from the main story, I suppose, but it is still sticking to the overall linear narrative that this arc represents. It kind of reminds me of like the classic bonus chapters that we used to get like in the first 10 volumes or so, if you remember at that time. But yeah, let me know what you think about this chapter in the comments, guys, and if you liked the video, please give it a like. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.
And also, guys, don't forget to check out our sponsor, War Thunder. Again, the link will be in the description, and those registering on PC will get a large free bonus pack by using that link. Thanks again.